On March the 5th this year, I left my home in Perth, Australia, and have been away 167 days following the F1 season. I've slept in 26 different beds, I've been to 16 different countries, shot more than 165,000 images, and produced 80 videos. And in this video, I'm going to run through my favourite moments from the season thus far. Let's kick it off at Imola. And my most exciting moment of the whole year was the George Russell-Valtteri Bottas crash. Late in the race, as you'll remember, George tried to overtake Valtteri. They came together, went left into the fence and then right across the track and landed just metres from where I was photographing. Unfortunately, I just picked up my camera bag and went to move probably 10 seconds before the collision, but I got all the aftermath and that amazing interaction when George went over to Valtteri and gave him a slap on the head. At the time, I didn't know what was going on there, but this was my angle from it. And I remember afterwards Valtteri asked me whether there was much noise. I said, yeah, it was a noisy prang. And one of my pictures from that event made the front page of Autosport magazine. And that's the first time that's happened for me. That was one of two crashes that Valtteri was involved in this year that I captured, and I'll go through the second one a little bit later on in this video. That race also saw the first time that Lando Norris made the podium in season 2021. He made it another 2 times. Jumping now to Monaco, always a great race to shoot. Not such a great race for you as a spectator, I know, but I love the shots of the cars coming out of the Monaco tunnel. Always have done, always will. They're just really rich looking pictures, and that was the race we saw the Gulf livery on the McLaren cars, and it made such a huge impact, and I would really love to see those liveries come back again for one or more races perhaps this year. That race was also the second time Lando was on the podium, and it was great to see those ex-teammates both on the podium.
Subscribe to Kim Elman.
On the Friday night of the Monaco race, because there's no actual F1 action on track, they have the Amber Lounge Fashion Parade. I got to photograph that, and for the first time got some great images of drivers not wearing logoed clothes, and that's always a positive. What about Bahrain? I was there for 23 days, and over that time we had testing, and the beauty of testing for me was this one particular shot at turn 4 where we can shoot low between the barriers. Now you can't do that during the race because they go and put signage on that fence, but we get this beautiful shot of cars with the lovely palm trees behind it that is only available at that testing session. That was also the first time we were introduced to Mick Schumacher's girlfriend Justine Heisman. At the time that was quite big news, and German publication Bild ended up running those pictures of Justine and Mick for the first time ever in the paddock. That was also the first time we had a ham ver bot result. We ended up having 3 of those this year, and in the first Austrian race we had a variation of that. But it was the other 7 races that gave us some great surprise results. 7. No, that should be 6. Forgive me for that. And I think you'll probably agree that that's what's made this season a little bit spicy. If you go back and have a look at these races, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, Verstappen, Hamilton, Norris. Monaco, Verstappen, Sainz, Norris. Azerbaijan, the biggest upset of the year, Perez, Vettel, Gasly. Austria 2, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. Great Britain, Hamilton, Leclerc, Bottas. And Hungary, Ocon, Vettel, Hamilton. Or was that one the biggest surprise of the year, with Esteban Ocon getting up? This year we've been spoiled with Lewis Hamilton's fashion pics, and have a look at the range of kit he's worn into the track this year. Some races, on all 4 days, he would wear something different into the track. Other races he might do it on perhaps 1 or 2 days. But it was a real overload for us as photographers capturing him in sometimes wacky, way out gear, others just simply colourful and trendy. More recently, the British GP, Max, out on the first lap. I'd love to say I was at that corner. I wasn't. I was 1.2 kilometres away. But late in the race, I got Kimi being turned around at the second last corner. I got Lewis's celebration shots, and that was quite amazing because I think there were only about 7 or 8 photographers around that incident. Everyone else had gone to shoot Parc Fermé, and Lewis came out with us. So I was one of a very lucky group to have Lewis metres away from me, playing up to the crowd at the last turn. But I think the real highlight for me was the shots of Sebastian Vettel cleaning up the rubbish in the grandstand, along with his trainer Antti Konsas and his manager Britta Ruska. Previously, my biggest ever post had reached about 500,000 people and had 35,000 likes, and that was a simple picture of Lando Norris in a hoodie. This picture, though, reached over 1 million accounts and had more than 70,000 likes. It touched a nerve. It showed people just how much of a great guy Sebastian is, and he probably doesn't want to hear all this because this was meant to be just a reasonably low-key affair. And in fact, there were no photographers capturing this. It was only, I think, the Aston Martin team photographer and a couple of spectators who happened to be in that area at the time. But he was there for a good 90 minutes cleaning up that rubbish after the race. And as a lot of you say on social media, it's very hard not to like this man. Portugal, beautiful track. First time I was there, I really love the fact that it's got these uphill and down dale bits. You get great images of cars on crests. It's one of the few tracks where you can get a shot like this. And these are pleasing to the eye. But on lap 2 of the race, I happened to be in the right spot again this year, as Kimi Räikkönen failed to take the right-hander at turn 1, ended up in the gravel, came to a stop right in front of where I was. Right place, right time. Yuki Tsunoda, well, he showed so much promise, didn't he, at the start of the year, and then he had a couple of crashes. One in France during qualifying, where he ended up backwards into the tyre wall. He came past me at a rate of knots, and I had too big a lens on to capture that, but I did get the shots of him into the wall and then exiting the track here. I also got this series of pictures of Sebastian Vettel and Sergio Perez swapping this particular bucket hat from the Paul Ricard circuit. If you forget a charger for your mobile phone but still have the USB cable, did you know that you can charge it from the back of a television set? Next time you forget your charger, don't worry. Whack it into the back of the TV and know you'll be set. Austria, always a lovely event to photograph in a beautiful part of the world, and I was thrilled to catch up with Nico Hülkenberg just briefly, just after he'd announced his marriage to Sunny, but before they announced the fact that they were expecting their first child. On the subject of wives and girlfriends, well, there was a feast of them this year. Let me quickly run through them for you. We had Max Verstappen's girlfriend Kelly Piquet at a couple of races. Valtteri Bottas's girlfriend Tiffany Cromwell was at a couple of races and competed for Australia in the Olympics in cycling. Sergio Perez's wife Carola Martinez attended a couple of races, and for the first time I met Isa Hernández, Carlos Sainz's girlfriend. Charles Leclerc's girlfriend Charlotte Sine was at a number of races this year. Elena Berry, Esteban's girlfriend, was at the French race, as was Linda Morcelli, Fernando Alonso's girlfriend, and popped along to another race. Sarah Pagliaroli joined Lance Stroll at a couple. Sandra Jivashek was certainly at a number of races. I think there was probably at least 4 that I remember, with Nicholas Latifi. Carmen Montero Munt accompanied George Russell. Kimi Räikkönen's wife Mintu was at a couple of races, as was Mick Schumacher's girlfriend Justine Huisman. So that's girlfriends. What about parents? Yes, I can tell you a number. Anthony Hamilton, Lewis's dad, Lando's dad Adam, spotted Pierre's mum and dad both coming out of a grandstand after one of the sessions in Monaco. Charles's mum, she was with Charlotte one day at the French GP. Lance's dad, yep, well, he's almost a given, isn't he? He's at every single race. Nikita Mazepin's father at a number of races, and I would love to say Daniel Ricciardo's parents, but unfortunately they're stuck in Australia. I know they'd love to be there to see Daniel, and I know he'd love to have them, but just very tricky getting out of our country, and even trickier getting back. I'm also delighted that you've fallen in love with these sort of videos, where I take a number of pictures and string them together very quickly. I will continue to put those up on my Instagram stories, Reels, and on TikTok. And thank you to those who've embraced my new travel videos, in particular my favourite, the one shot at the Russian airport where there was absolutely nobody in the terminal. If you haven't seen that, I recommend you go and have a look at it. There's a link below in the description. In what has been a very busy year, I've had 21 different PCR tests, I've had 3 different vaccinations, and I've enjoyed every minute, well, not every minute, almost every minute of it. For those of you who asked what my favourite hotel was this year, it was definitely the Hotel Dubrovnik Palace. My favourite Airbnb, the one in Lisbon with that huge deck. My favourite race, it's very close between the Azerbaijan race and the Hungarian race, but I'm going to go with Azerbaijan. My favourite crowd, the Brits. They were just on it the whole race, really good-natured and appreciative of some spectacular entertainment. But I should say that I'm very excited about going to the Dutch Grand Prix in the Netherlands at Zandvoort. I think the Dutch fans will give the Brits a very good run for their money. My favourite celebrity? this man. Not that we've seen too many celebrities at the races this year, and my favourite photo, well, actually two photos, would be these two of the McLarens coming out of the tunnel in Monaco, and they are available at prostarpics.com, along with all of my images available for editorial and personal use. You'll find all of my F1 photo books at kimillman.com, along with a range of merchandise. If you haven't liked this video, here's your chance. Click on the like button, doesn't cost you anything. And if you are not a subscriber, I urge you to become one. And I will mention quickly that all my VIP members get regular raw images from each race. Now, if you're a photographer, you'll embrace that particular option. And to become a VIP member or any member of the channel, simply hit the join button next to the subscribe button. Sometimes you have to do it on a laptop. And for my best images live from the track, head to Instagram and search @KimIllman. Thanks for watching and stay passionate. I'm standing up on my balcony shooting this, and unfortunately there is a child down there whining, and you can hear that.